All right, going live for a bit. Up and running. We got Twitch, we've got YouTube. Gonna spend some time working on some levels tonight. Always pretty relaxing. So we've got a blank canvas-ish here in Flowscape. Let's see. I think, though, what I want to do... Some of my previous levels, I have 3 lava levels, 3 stone levels. I've got 2 sort of snow levels. And then 1 sort of a sand and water level. So I think I want to do about 3 of each. 3 of each element or biome or whatever. So I'm going to start with... See, we could do another snow level. So why don't I load that one up? Let's see, this was... There we go. So I have the terrain set up. And then if I just drag the snow slider here, we can get a little more snow on top of the terrain. And my objective was not to change that particular level, but what I do want to do is change the layout. So in this particular case, the enemies would travel on that water there. So let's see. They could continue to travel on the water. For example, if the tower were here, so they're coming in this way from the top and from the right. That's fine. And then... Yeah, so let me just grab my my terrain tool here. Right here. Grab the sculpt tool, that's what I'm looking for. So now, let me see, if we actually... Yeah, spacebar hides the UI. Let's see, basically want to reset this now. I think if I shift click, it kind of levels everything. No, control click levels. So I'm going to level and then start raising again. There we go. Then what I want to do next is bring up where I want the land to be. So in that case, I had sort of a left, right, and top. So let me try setting just a placeholder tower somewhere. Maybe a flag. Let's see. Just something that represents where the base would be. This will work. This thingy. Oops. And then just drag that inward a bit and shrink it. Alright, so if that's the base, let's try putting it on the bottom right, how about? We can do way down near the bottom right. Not too far, though, because the game will have its own UI, and I don't want it to block the scene. But let's just place that there and start sculpting. Not really sure what the snow angle is doing at this point because everything's so low. So we'll just ignore that. And hide the UI again, and let's raise the roof. No, let's raise everything where the towers can be built and where the enemies will not be traveling. So presumably there's like a patch out in here that's raised. Raise a bit, and then let's see. We could do sort of like a something like this. Where they'll come in from the top right. They'll sort of swoop around, but then there will also be some coming in from the bottom left, which will be a shorter path and arguably tougher to control. And then that, honestly, that might be it, because that's rather difficult. So if that's the general path, then let's see, I would just want something out here that sort of, I don't know, fills the scene a little bit. Let's see. I mean, it would be pretty cool to see the skybox from there, but I don't want to change the camera too much. Because that is... I mean, from there you can see pretty much off the world. So if I come in... As a matter of fact, let me double check my my controls here. The button to return the camera back to the original saved setting. It's here, and then it's either page down or page up. But if I get it backwards, it's going to overwrite the original setting. Here we go. So save camera is up, restores down. Okay, well, the previous save is not what we want, clearly. So, oh, look at that, there's a rainbow. Oh, that's pretty neat, look at that. And some auroras, Aurora Borealis. I know it's a Dark Tower Defense game, but that would be pretty cool to have in there. Honestly, it'd be a lot of fun to use a world builder like this. Maybe like in the next game and do an actual 3D game. But one thing at a time. Might rain tonight. A little bit. In some places are getting heavier storms. Bit of a storm series covering about half the US right now. Let's see. Yeah, some rain coming in from Texas. It's gonna have to pass Burke Burnett before it gets to us, which I always thought was a really goofy name, Burke Burnett. My friend thinks it's it has to be a combination of like two people who got married or went into business or something like that, and they're like splitting hairs on how to name the town, and they lumped both of their names together and came up with that. All right, so what I need to do right now is set a new saved camera position. And what I'm aiming for is an isometric, kind of like an old school isometric look. So a lot of modern games have perspective where it's not just a flat image. You can kind of see like around a little bit. Things further away appear a little extra further away. Think more like a wide angle lens. Whereas I'm using a really long lens here to try to imitate a flat depth. So because this is a 2D game using 3D assets. So to get that, I've taken the camera FOV and I'm zooming it way in. Not just moving it in, but I'm actually changing the FOV itself. And then this is pretty close to what I want. I just need to go in a little further. Let's see, the problem is the top of the screen is kind of going off the world. I think I need to go up a little. Let's see, what do I do here? Because that is off the world, but I'm not liking the look of it. It's like the water shader goes off into the sky, so I don't really want that. Out of curiosity, what if I change the water? So toggle layers to paint on. Still some settings in here I could play around with and really get that to change. But before I do that, why don't I just go ahead and finish up the actual layout here. This is pretty close. I just need to flatten the rocks a little bit so they're not so rounded. I'm gonna go in a little bit more like this. It's getting closer to what we want. All right, something like that. And then what I'll do is take the sculpting tool and let's get that. Then I'm going to flatten these rocks. So that's going to be control. I'll just flatten just a little bit. Something like this. That way it kind of makes sense that you would be able to build on it. Shouldn't be so rounded. I appreciate the hearts. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for hanging out with me. Really appreciate it. Hope your night's going well. No, y'all are working hard out there. See, I'm gonna drop this down right here. Because the enemies will march right through there. And then there was something else I did that I kind of liked, which is to shrink down the size of the sculpting tool to really chisel the edges of some of these. It made it look kind of rough, which I liked. And let's see, chisel this off. Honestly, it's because it kind of makes it more clear to the player where they could place a tower. A lot of them are kind of square in design, and even if they don't look square, like the tower bases, the actual placement is more grid-based than anything. So the closer I can get to square, the more sort of technical, well, it'll feel better. Let's just say that. All right, here we go. Honestly, pretty close to done. I don't want to spend too long on just this one thing. Just want to make some progress. This is one of those days where obviously it was a really late stream, but wiser folks than myself have said have no zero-sum days, and so I try to do that. I try to adhere to that. Even if you just have to do a little bit, do a little bit. And then at the end of the year, you will still have done something. And boy, do the years go by fast. My goodness, it's already April. I mean, that kind of statement could be said about any month of the year, but it's just, for me personally, it's been a really fast and busy 3 months, going into month 4 now. I feel like we just barely got out of the previous year, and we're already almost to summer. Okay, so if I flip on, that's actually fine to me, because it's like medium difficulty. The path that the enemies take is medium difficulty. It's not too bad, but because there's a shorter path on the bottom left, it's not too easy either. There's plenty of space for towers, but not... You can't place them just anywhere. In fact, if I... One thing I could do later on, and I'm not sure if I will for this particular game, but what I could do is if we implement difficulty settings, like say you beat this level and you come back to it, could have like portions of the land have barriers on them, like rocks and junk. So I might add a couple of rocks right now anyway. Let me see. No, don't quit. Why is it on this quit thing? Not like that. More like this. Really big rock. And yeah, so it's just like a natural barrier. There's a lot of ambient occlusion on that though. Look how much it's glowing. It's blinding. And so if I bring up the snow now, it would make a little more sense. I need to turn that down though. It's so bright. At least on my screen it's really bright. Let's see here. Go to the camera setting. Is it the bloom? Oh yeah, it's the bloom. So if I turn that down, something like this. It's obviously still really bright, but anyway. So yeah, now there's even less space that you could place a tower on. So it's a simple but still mildly challenging level. And that, you know, the difficulty doesn't even take into consideration if I've used enhanced enemies or whatever. I think we need a little more snow though. Let's see. Let's see, something like that. The only thing I don't like is the top of this rock. Top of the rock, New York. The top of the rock is going to overhang and the enemies will need to pass behind it. But I can't assign a Z order to this thing because this is not in the game engine. So I kind of need to change that. I wish I could just chop off the top of it, but I don't think I can. Let me see. Can I just grab it? I can. Okay, I can move it. That's fine. Perfect. There we go. Do that. In fact, I like that more. Take up more space. I like that a lot. And then this one actually looks like it's hanging on to nothing. Let's move that over a little bit. That's a little bit better. All right. Fine. And then what else? What else can we do here? Trying to think. Could do a few more rocks down here. So you can't spam too many things right all in there at the end. Yeah, we've been having some storms. Actually bought a new candle the other day, and the scent of the candle is Stormy Night. So I figured that was appropriate. Smells kind of nice. It's a little bit of a guy cologne kind of smell, but it's really mild, so it's nice. Some of the quote-unquote masculine scented candles smell straight up like cologne, and it's like I don't want my room to smell like that. It's too much. But this one's pretty nice. All right, ocean. Let's see, I don't know if that has any effect on this water. Honestly, I'm not sure. Some of these settings I've never even played with. Let's see, sky. From this perspective, changing the skybox would just change the color. It's kind of the lighting, really. We'll stick with this one here. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of things to do to make it look a little more interesting, but I don't want to do too much. I'm pretty happy with the general layout here. So I'm just going to... Oh, you know what would be fun? It's to build clouds on one of these. Do a cloud level. I feel like I just need some scattered rocks. Why don't I do that? Let's see, the scale. Let's bring the scale down on those. Let's drop a few rocks out here. Maybe? Where do I want them? On the land or in the water? Maybe in the water. That'll work. Just little minor touches, just to add a little something. And then, okay, so as far as the base though, it would be here where this thingy is. But it can't be... I guess that's fine. It can be there. So let's go and get rid of that. And let's screenshot it. We're going to call it good enough. Take a couple of those. Let's double check. This should be the lowest or lower quality setting, because if I maxed the quality out, the individual photo would be like 100 megs. It's insane. Do not need that for a background image. It's just going to be a background image. So let's go to pictures. Where do I have this thing? Assets. Where did I put the folder to Flowscape? I know it's here somewhere. George, what's going on, man? How you doing? How's your Friday going? Corey to the glory. Yeah, man. It was a late start to the stream. Gotta be rocking the PJs. It's actually a shirt, but might as well be PJs. I might sleep in it. You on lunch break? Images. Here we go. All right, I found the folder. All right, so that is coming in at 2.9 megs. We can definitely work with that. We can work with that. That one is done. Let's save as a new level. So now we can see we've got that and there. Let's do one more of these. Already done with lunch. Well, you're on the home stretch then. Home stretch. You can delete the rocks. Let's delete everything. Yeah, thanks for hopping on, man. It's always good to have you on. I see you're still rolling out those podcasts. Bro, you stay busy. I commend you. I commend your efforts, sir. I enjoy watching them too. All right, we're going to reset the level. Let's go to the sculpting tool, enlarge it, and flatten the earth. Flatten it all. Now, let's see. So we did if we look at the levels here. We've got tower placed near the lower left, pads coming from left, top, center, and right. And then the one we just did. Why don't we do one that is... maybe like almost like a mirror of what we just did. We could do sort of like a bit of a spiral. So let's do, let's see here. I think I think I needed to drop everything actually. Let's lower everything. And then we'll start raising it up. And so what I had in mind is maybe we can have the enemy kind of spiral in. And that is all really low. So they're going to come in like this way. Need to increase the strength of this right here. There we go. Much faster. They can come in obviously from the top left. That's kind of messing up. Go down. Really hard to get up here because I think the cursor actually interacts with the UI even if I hide it. Super annoying. So I'm gonna have to drag over a little bit. Oh, look at that. That is that's trippy right there. Kind of gives me a bit of vertigo. Seeing off the edge of the world and it's moving down there. Alright, so yeah, let's fix this section here. Flatten it back down a little bit. Alright, let's reset the camera here. Right about there. Ish. See, this can go down. Let's see, and what I need is a temporary tower again. So let's place one of those. We'll use the well. And where do we want this guy? Let's put him... oh, I guess he could be somewhere here in the middle. And then... back to the sculpting tool. Yeah, let's see, flatten that out. had something more trippy in mind. What was I gonna do here? Need to fix this light. All right, so tell you what, let's move the tower one more time, right about there, and then I'm going to undo this land just a little bit here. And instead have it come see, I want like a barrier right here. Level that out a little bit. And then this one back here is going to go like it's messing up on me. Flatten that out. Yeah, the trip was really good, man. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I went to Europe. I saw Amsterdam, Netherlands, and then I took a train down to Brussels, Belgium, and then I took a rental car from there to Luxembourg. Saw a few things along the way, and then took a train over to Paris. Flew over to Dublin, Ireland, coincidentally on St. Patrick's Day, so it was really lively there. But they were really friendly. And yeah, so finished it off in Ireland, and we had a really good time. Something like this. So they're going to come around. And I think actually you need to move the camera like up, just, yeah, like this. Had a really good time. It's always interesting driving on the opposite side of the road than you're used to. So in my case, driving in the UK or driving in Ireland was, I mean, not that bad, right? I don't want to be dramatic, but it's still always a little bit weird. Right. Yeah, you just feel weird at first. It's like, you can do it. It's just awkward. All right, so we've got the enemies coming all the way around this way. And hopefully their pathfinding will not give them any trouble. We need to drop this section here. In fact, I need to bring this up back here. kind of like this, and then so this way, and then I think I block this off now, so I just draw a line here. Draw a line. And then we balance that out a little bit. Boom. Just about done with this level. Then getting some weird 90-degree corners here. Let's see, I think what I'll do is, now that I have the general design laid out, let me decrease the strength so I can make more subtle changes. I want to take these and I mean, technically I just want to soften them, but I'll try this. I don't think there's a soften option, so I'm just going to raise them up and then see if I can flatten them back down more smoothly. That'll work. Close enough. The only other thing is this is a little bit on the thin side. A couple of these are a little bit thin, so I'm going to add even more. After that, we'll sprinkle a few rocks and call it done. Only other thing is I have the side on the left completely wide open. Do I want that? I'm going to say yes, except add a little bit of land here. And let's flatten that out as well. Looks like it's not wide enough. Level this out a bit. Really need to channel my inner Bob Ross here. My next travel plan. You know, we might have like a. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Thinking about doing maybe some Cali. No, I do need to go to Korea. I've never been, and I really need to. One, Korea. Two, South Korea. Republic of Korea. Well, I'm starting to get out more and more. I have a friend who is really into travel, and it's thanks to her that I do a lot of my travel. And so the part of Korea that's south of North Korea. Yeah, that part of Korea. I've heard of it. I'm going to make it out that way, I promise. And as slow as I am working on this game, it might be before I'm even done with it. What about you? What are your next travel plans coming up? Are they going to be work related? Flatten that out a little bit. Shanghai Disneyland in the fall. But mainly just in Korea, like traveling around in Korea, or like staying at home. Are you talking about? Let's see. Hopefully these are big enough for the towers. I think that'll work. I think that'll work. I'm going to delete the little thing here. Let's get some rocks. So the first ones will be barrier style. So where should we not let people put towers? I feel like here. That's an odd rock. Why to go there? Why is it placing it so far over? Oh, there we go. Yeah, man. What's a unique place to visit? Um, I don't know much about it at all, to be honest. But I wonder if you didn't mention it before. Um, but go on. Go ahead. You can elaborate. Enlighten me. You might have. Let me double check something here. Oh, no, actually, I don't think so. I was thinking of a different place that you told me about. Hmm. Entirely Sultan owned and ruled, huh? Get a free house, free education, free medical care. What the heck? Almost 500,000 population. Man. No one drinks there because of Islam. Jeez. It's pretty harsh. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's like they get some things really right and then some things very questionable, but it's interesting for sure. I have to look into that. There's plenty of room for Corey to be educated. Yeah, you didn't know how they'd react to foreigners, but the country is extremely safe. You know what's funny? The fact that you mentioned that. People told my friend after she got back from Europe, uh, didn't you feel unsafe going there? And her response to them was essentially she felt safer than at home in the US. I think it's just that people are scared of what they don't know. All right, there's that one, and then let's just do some decorative rocks and call this one done. Might not even need them on this level. He has the most luxurious privately owned house. Oh, well, now I've got to see this. The world's largest palace. Oh. This site is not happy. Continue, no. Dang it. Stupid ads. Trying to pull up a legitimate site here without ads. How many rooms it has? I can't even begin to guess. Well, I just saw it. I would not have guessed this number. I was going to guess in the hundreds. Is this what you're about to say? I was going to guess 200 or something. 257 bathrooms alone. What the heck? How many people live in those rooms? Who stays there? It includes a private zoo with Bengal tigers. Even the ponies have air conditioning. These guys right here are looking at the camera. On the left and on the right. Man, that is mind-blowing. Ooh. Net worth of 30 billion. And I'm not even sure when this was written. Could be more. Man, look at that. Oh, nice. He opens it up to the public. Wow. And he gives out $100 to everyone. I mean, I'm sure he can afford it, but still, nobody in the U.S. I know would do that. Not even the billionaires. Man. I didn't even know hotels went up to 7. I'll be honest. I didn't know they went past 5. Did you stay in it? Wow. Yeah, I mean 300's a lot of money, but like let's say you go to like the Vegas Strip or something, or really any of the better hotels in any major city. Yeah, that's going to be pretty standard. So, no, I get that. I get what you're saying. Empire Hotel. Yeah, of course, owned by the Sultan still. Nice. Made by real gold, with real gold. What the heck? Wow. You're not getting a villa anytime soon. I can't even check how much they cost. Nothing's available. At least not those. Cancel. Man, that is insane. Oh, here they are. Yeah, so you can get a superior room for however much that is. Okay, yeah. So this 300 would be about 225 US dollars, which is actually reasonable for a top quality hotel room. Because I can go down the street to a crappy hotel and pay 150 easily. Really? Only 10 to 20% full? Heck yeah. That's the way to do it. All right, I'm going to save this level here. Man, that is crazy. I didn't even know about that. Thanks for sharing that information. Now I have more to think about. Usually swimming areas like that are jam-packed and you can't even enjoy them. Oh. Did you have any trouble? How long did it take to well, I guess let me ask this. Did you need a visa to get there? No. Awesome. Man, that is crazy. Hadn't even considered it. Yeah, I mean, it seems strict in some ways, doesn't it? But interesting if they're opening up. Oh, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of countries make a majority of income through tourism. I know locals kind of hate it, but local businesses love it. If they even have local businesses there, unless it's all just Sultan owned. Maybe they have, like their corner store mom and pop shops, but the pop is the Sultan. All right. Well, I think that brings. I'm about out of energy for tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it wraps here. But yeah, George, thanks for hopping on, man. That was insightful. Awesome to check out that place. So after Korea, I'll consider going there. South Korea, south of the northern Korea, called North Korea. No, you didn't take up any of my time. I was done. I finished up the levels I was making, and all good, man. So, oh, and the music ended there too. All right. Well, good luck with the rest of your Friday there. Get to that weekend and enjoy yourself. Don't work too hard. And everyone, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I hope you have fewer bugs than I do. Thanks.